What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the 210 show. We are so glad you joined us tonight. We got some things we want to talk about. UFC fight. We got to talk about the Spurs, obviously, and some other things. But before we do that, let's do some introductions.
All right. Start off with this is Angry Joey.
This is the Hater with Facts.
I'm Mr. Raider.
And this is Woo Pig Suey. You ready to talk with us?
Let's do it. So before we move forward, though, I would like everybody to to know we have a special guest on this pod. His name is Chef now, Chef Angry Joey, because he's been cooking in our pre-production meeting. So when you hear me call him Chef Joey, that's why tonight and for tonight only. Anyway, let's carry on, gentlemen.
I don't know if I go that far, but hey, let's do it.
All right. So let's talk about some Spurs. Who wants to take it first?
Yeah, I'll do it. All right. Well, if you heard our last episode, we kind of, at least two of us here, made a strong prediction and part of a Kiss My Grits that there would be a game 6. Well, didn't happen. The Knicks came through once again and won game 5, 94-90 in San Antonio to take the championship 4-1, a pretty much gentleman's sweep. Jalen Brunson, he was the man that night, 45 points, and truly kept the team in place. I mean, it was a rinse and repeat of the last 4 games. The Spurs got out to a double-digit lead. The Knicks kept their poise. Karl-Anthony Towns got in foul trouble, except for this time, he actually got fouled out. Didn't matter. Jalen Brunson kept being persistent, shooting the ball, and De'Aaron Fox, turned into I don't know. I don't even want to say pumpkin. I almost want to say, he almost was wearing orange colors. I guess pumpkin would work because pumpkins are orange. But all in all, the Knicks took the series, and now they have won their first championship for the first time in 53 years. Congratulations, New York Knicks. You can now go back to your hole, and we don't have to talk about you for the next 50 years. Thank you. All right. Now we got that out the way. Let's move on to something else.
Hey, congratulations to Knicks, man. I genuinely am happy for the Knicks fans, at least the ones that weren't burning down school buses. Not those knuckleheads, but the real fans. I'm happy for them, and it's kind of what I said last podcast. I said it was over, and it's just it was experience versus talent. I think that the Spurs are more talented than the Knicks were, but they just didn't have the experience in the players or in coaching. There were 0 adjustments. Like you said, it was the same script every single game. So they would jump out to a huge lead in the first quarter. I think they were like plus 29 in the first quarter. And then they lost second, third, and fourth quarter because the Knicks would adjust. They would log down on defense. And then the Spurs coaching never made any changes. So it was sad to see, but I think this is a huge learning experience for them, and I think they'll be better for it. I think every dynasty takes its lumps, that first time through.
I agree. We actually saw it to where, even LeBron didn't win his first outing to the ship. I mean, the list can go on, as far as, who's actually been to the ship and who, and lost when they were a perennial talent. Let's not make any mistake here. Wemby, Castle, and
Harper.
They're a dynasty in the making. I really do believe that. I don't think that, okay. So what happened was kind of a travesty. Yes, they actually gave up a colossal loss, but let's not get it twisted. These kids are like 21, 22 years old. They're going to be around for a minute. And as long as the Spurs can actually keep this nucleus together, they're going to be freaking awesome. I don't know what the knock on, Wemby is. Good God, the guy actually averaged, what was it, 25, 26 points a game? And, he had, I don't know how many blocks and rebounds, but it was otherworldly.
He played his ass off, man.
He
Well,
really did. And Castle, I mean, he's great. I think Fox of all people kind of showed his ass.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to trade him.
they should.
Given their the problem is his cap. And the contract that he's under. Do they
Yes.
have the ability to trade him? Is the question.
No.
But here's the latest though. Does Fox actually is he going to be able to command a trade? That's another question. Because after seeing that kind of colossal behavior, what team is going to want to trade for him?
Dude, he went 3 for what, 18 or 3 for 15
It was
in
bad.
an elimination game. First the game before you try to play hero ball and lost the fucking game for your team.
Well, yeah,
Then
he single-handedly. Okay, I don't want to say single-handedly because it takes a full game to make a game.
Wemby should have hit those free throws. It's not
When
all
the free
Fox's fault.
throws and that forced layup, all that kind of stuff, just a horrible decision making. And Charles Barkley, was he right? Was he wrong? When he actually said it was the dumbest thing that he had
I
ever.
think he's right.
Dumbest basketball, kind of, sorta. But at the same time, once again, I think the Spurs actually have a very, very, very bright future ahead of them. I see them being the next dynasty. I really do. I think that they're going to be an exceptional team going forward. So yes, was it a tragedy that they lost? It wasn't that they lost, it was how they lost. That just sucked. But at the same time, these are young boys. Let's keep it in perspective. These
young men.
Well,
yeah, man.
no. When you put it into my demographic.
Yeah. Well, yes. In comparison to you.
Geezer, you. Hey, but let me ask you this question though, Angry Joey and the rest of the panel. So I think they should get rid of Mitch. I don't think he's a good coach. I don't think that team is way too talented to have that kind of epic collapse. And hear me out, Spurs fans. This is my question to you, Spurs fans, as well. If you were to take, say, Phil Jackson or Pat Riley or reverse, put Mike Brown on the Spurs.
Oh no, Pop.
You think you would have a different game? Or Pop. Would you have a different series? I think so. I think so.
Absolutely.
See, I don't agree because here's the thing: the Spurs were supposed to finish 10th in the league, and they went to the finals. They overachieved at a massive scale.
Yeah, to be fair, yes, they did. Compared to what they did last year when they finished bottom, they were definitely supposed to. There was no way they were supposed to make the finals. So that's another thing that has me optimistic.
That's a separate argument, though, in my opinion, because I would say when you're in the finals, that's when coaching really freaking matters. Look at what Mike Brown did.
Yes, sir.
Mike Brown out-coached this rookie coach over there on the other side thoroughly. If Spurs fans being honest, they would admit that too. Like there were some boneheaded decisions, like why not start Harper, for example, over Fox?
Oh, he definitely made some mistakes.
That was a big deal.
He definitely
made some mistakes, but he also motivated that team to go from what they were supposed to do.
You're right.
To get them all the way to the finals. So
it's
just his lack of experience, I think, caught up to him in the finals.
That
doesn't mean he's not a great coach. It just means he lacked experience. So if anything, I would keep him on and maybe get an experienced assistant coach that can help, smooth out those edges a little bit.
Who I actually thought really helped smooth things out as far as from a coaching perspective was Wemby, to be honest with you. You actually watched him, becoming the leader that he was asked to be.
Yeah. True, but if you had a Pat Riley,
that dude is a beast in the future. If he manages to put on a little bit of weight, is it possible that the dude can even be better? And you match him up with Castle, and then with Harper. Good God, that kid is amazing. So did it come down to coaching? To some degree, yes. How can it not? I think that there was some timeouts that could have been called that weren't.
True.
I do have some issues with Wemby though.
Yeah, we can get to that. I got some numbers to present on that.
Before we get to Wemby, let me. So one of the things, Hater, I'm curious to see what you think about this. what was the coach's name on Golden State before Kerr got there? I forget his name. He was an announcer
Mark
for a long
Jackson.
time too. Mark Jackson. If
Yep.
Mark Jackson was the coach, that's who I think the Spurs should go after. Is Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson would definitely help them win a chip.
That's not bad. That's not a bad.
Because you know what he would have done? He would have gotten in Fox's ass and be like, you know what, bro? This is the finals elimination game. You're riding bench. I'm gonna pull you off the bench. I'm riding the hot hand, and he wouldn't make no qualms about it whatsoever.
No,
but you
not
had
at all.
Mitch on the other end was going to bat for this guy in the media and saying, nope, it's my guy. I'm gonna start him and this and that. I'm like, bruh, come on. Anyway,
all right, I gotta ask the question: do you think that the Spurs actually made the finals because of coaching or in spite of it?
In spite of it, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm not going that far.
No, I'm not either. I think he's a good coach. I just think
the team is really good, bro.
He was
the team is super good.
Is that one, Fox is he's if they can actually deal him, and not only that, but I guess dude already disabled his Spurs Twitter account or whatever it is, but then so I don't know if he's trying to distance himself from the Spurs, but now the head coach, he's being thrown under the bus. I don't know if it's all on them. I think it was a concerted effort. I think it comes down to youth. I think it comes down to inexperience and the fact that they were overachieving at the time that they didn't need to be. I mean, a lot of people didn't even think they're going to get past OKC.
Yeah, well, they did.
OKC and shit. I mean, they even making it to the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves were rolling them. I mean, they were playing beast mode on these guys, and the Spurs managed to be able to, take it on and beat them. So once
Wemby had 41 points, 20 plus rebounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
go ahead, Ader. Sorry.
And I know a lot of people are pissing about the Spurs right now, and the Charles Barkleys of the world, and they're talking about how the Spurs shit the bed, and they had this colossal error and stuff like that. And okay, to be fair, yes, they lost some, but let's look at the reason why. It was a culmination of things. One, they shouldn't have been there in the first place. Two, they were playing out of their element for young, inexperienced men. Okay. And three, they were playing against a very, very elite team. And let's not mistake the fact that, Brunson, I mean, he's a generational player. I mean, I got to give the Knicks credit. I mean, is there anybody that can deny that? I mean, the guy put up 45.
Oh, I can.
He's a 6'1" guard, bro. He's good.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay. Finish your thought. Because I have a lot. Finish your thought. Go ahead.
But that was it. I once again, I love the Spurs. I think that they're going to be great in the future. I think they're going to be a problem for any team. But the Knicks, they're going to be trouble too. And there's other teams. OKC, they're not going away. They're still young.
Yep.
And we were sitting there talking about rivalries, not too long ago. When it was the Tim Duncan and Ginobili Parker phase, it was always the Lakers. That was always the big rivalry, if you will.
Yeah.
That is not
Hater. Get in here.
That is not the case.
Yeah. So okay. So let's touch on the Mitch Johnson point. Now, yes, he deserves a lot of blame. And then the last pod I said he deserves 60% of the blame, and I still stand by that. But I will say this kind of and please chime in, y'all, if y'all think I'm off on this. This could be Mitch Johnson's Eric Spoelstra moment, where the first year where he had LeBron and D Wade and all those dudes, and they lost to Dallas, right? Mm-hmm. And there were some coaching mistakes there, and they needed that 1 year to get all the licks in and stuff like that, and then they understood how they needed to adjust as a squad overall, and the team dynamic and everything else. I feel like I'm not going to go as far as to say that Mitch Johnson needs to be fired 2 years after taking the role from a legendary head coach. Like that's a hard shoe to fill, and taking everything into account of what this team accomplished, I can allow a pass. Now, it will be a very short leash, but I will not let him go yet. I will give him the opportunity to adjust to regroup and to show that he has learned his lesson from this. Now, also, just to touch on Wemby a little bit. The first thing that I noticed is this is the first time in his, I don't want to say his career, but at least for the 2025-26 season, where he had back-to-back games of playing over 35 minutes a game. So that's the first thing that, as far as what adjustments needs to be made, at least specifically for him, is clearly he was being worn out. Some of it was unnecessary. That was due to Mitch Johnson, especially during that 29-point lead, and we talked about that. But clearly, he's going to have to get in the weight room, get that lower body strength under control, so that he can't get worn out so quickly.
1,000%.
Also, as far as the Aaron Fox goes, the only pass that I will give with him is the fact that, yes, he is the veteran on the team, but that's as far he's ever been in his career as far as the playoffs go. So even though he is an 8-year veteran, that was his first finals experience. So I guess that further emphasizes the point of the lack of experience of the team overall, because the only person that had finals experience on that team was Harrison Barnes, and he's completely unplayable. So that doesn't help either, right? So to put it all in the bow here, the Spurs have a lot to be proud of, the fact they got that far, and they're defending champ, right? But at the same time, they also know and also understand that they, for the most part, they were the better team in this series, even though they did not win the games. They led for 72% of the entire series. They led in this thing, and they let it go.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of their
that's the only thing that sucks, is they just were not clutch. They just could not finish the games. That's the only thing that really sucked. I mean, sitting there, especially game 4, when they lost by, a 29-point lead, and the way they lost.
Yes.
I mean, my God, that was horrible to watch. I mean, it was, it really hurt. And I think that, I kind of figured in game 5 that they were going to come back and be pissed off, and, I actually picked them to absolutely destroy them in game 5. Well, didn't work out. But at the same time, you kind of go back on it and look at all the X's and O's. And I think that what Charles Barkley had actually said was not very proper, in the sense that it was the dumbest coaching thing, or the dumbest basketball I've ever seen ever in the history of basketball and stuff like that. Come on, man. That was harsh. I mean, I think that I thought that was kind of a dick move. I mean, but you're talking about 21, 22-year-old gentlemen that, their first, chance to go into the dance and play this thing. I mean, my God, talk about pressure. So
yeah, but that's why we talked about it last pod. That's why so much of it falls on the coach, because in game.
Well, but how do you coach that though, Kyle? I mean,
so here's what we said. When they were up by 29 points and they got into the third quarter, and you started seeing people when they had double digit, time left on the scoreboard, and they were jacking up threes, I'd immediately called a timeout and chewed all their asses out and said, nobody tries to score until you have single digits left.
Okay, fair enough.
We're going to try and crash the boards.
So
instead, they just kept jacking up threes and gave the ball back over to the Knicks with plenty of time, and gave them time to get back from that huge deficit that they had.
Fair enough. Yes. I mean, okay, so they should have actually been guarding the perimeter a little bit better. And, but at the same time,
milking the clock.
What New York would have been doing at that point was they would have been trying to draw fouls at the 3-point line.
Or just milking the clock. An experienced team would have realized we're up 29. If we just don't give them the ball over and over and over, we can't lose this game at this point.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, and they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So it was, I think at the end of the day, it just broke a lot of hearts to see the Spurs lose the way they did. But at the end of the day, the silver lining is, I think that they have, if they can keep this nucleus intact, they got some chips in their future. I mean, would you guys agree with that?
Of course.
Well, I do, they have the potential to get some championships in the coming years. Yes, but I will say, and me and Wu Pig went back and forth on this a little bit. Tomorrow isn't promised, and that's where the sense of a little bit of the sense of urgency of the moment that you have is so important. And because again, the biggest thing, especially for somebody like Wemby specifically, is we've seen a history of big men. Sometimes their careers get cut short, you know? And I'm not wishing this on him or anything like that, but it's just a simple fact is for someone as much as talented as he is at that size, sometimes it's not a given that they will have this elongated career.
Yep.
So it's gonna be prudent on the Spurs organization to make sure that they maximize this as much as they can. And just to go back on a point that you made, Edgar Joy, is for Fox specifically, the thing to keep in mind is, and we talked about it last spot too, is he has his extension of $221 million kicks in next year. So it's 49.5 next year, 52.5 the year after that, 57.5 the year after that, and the final year is $61.3 million. So,
okay, so my question to you, the hater, is does he want back? Based on some of the narrative that we've actually been seeing, does he want to come back to San Antonio? Because I mean, I've seen all these indicators saying that he wants out. He wants away from San Antonio. I mean, is there truth to that?
well, if it is, the problem again, the league rules mandate that you have to bring in incoming salary that matches what he has. So you got to match $221 million worth of salary in order to trade him away. Now, I don't know what happens unless you work out a deal with the other team where the Spurs pay a portion of it or something like that. Maybe they work it out that way. I'm not sure. But if you're trying to,
so that could be a problem as well, don't you think? Because I mean, if he wants out, and
he sees
at what point do you put him on the paint? I mean, at what point do you put him on the wood? I'm just curious.
So so the thing about that is a decision will have to be made with him, his agent, and the organization, and the fact that you've got a monster brewing over here with Dylan Harper. You can't keep him on the bench forever. You just can't. So it's almost,
I've actually heard an interesting theory that might save the Spurs actually with this whole conundrum. So, there's talks that the league might expand. And if they do that, then they'll have a supplementary
Where did you hear
draft.
that?
Well, yes, that's true.
What?
Yeah, that they're planning on adding 2 more teams.
Yes, Seattle and Vegas.
So if they do that, then you have a supplementary draft, and they could just not
there you go.
not put a hold on his contract, which allows those expansion teams to draft him out from under him.
Yeah.
Well,
and somebody definitely would because he's a good point guard.
Yeah.
Oh, he's good in the regular season.
Yeah, but as part of the supplementary draft, he would most certainly go. He would be one of the people that would get picked.
That's an excellent point, Whoopig. Yeah, that would be a get out of jail free card for them because they'll just make him eligible to be part of the expansion draft, and he's gone. Goodbye, man.
Problem solved.
Yep, things work out. Look at that. Oh, and just one more side point that you mentioned, Angry Joy, too. As far as the Knicks go, I don't see them as this future juggernaut or dynasty in the making. I don't see that at all.
No, not with the Celtics.
Took advantage.
With Tatum getting healthy.
Yeah, they took advantage of a situation for them.
These are flash in the pan or whatever. They got hot when they needed to.
They struck while the iron's hot.
All right.
It's the bubble.
Fair enough. Let me rephrase. I think that Brunson is he's a generational player. He really is. I mean, that dude is awesome. I think so.
Generational?
I mean, he's the face of New York right now.
Oh, yeah.
Point guard, bro.
I think
6'1".
This dude is actually starting to eclipse, from what I'm understanding, he's already starting to eclipse the likes of Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, that's a big conversation right now in New York. And it's like, I understand it. And we kind of touched on a little bit on that too. But I understand the sentiment and the emotion of it all and stuff like that. You can say that he will be the most accomplished New York Knick that
Well,
has ever lived.
hold on, Hater. So, in addition to that, though, he took $130 million less to get
Yes, he
Hart
did.
and was
Yes,
it
he did.
Hart and Bridges or just Hart
Yep.
on his team?
It was hard. Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah,
And Karl Anthony Towns. Matter of fact, me and Monster was
yeah.
looking at their roster, right? So Brunson's making like close to like 45 million. Mm, not Josh Hart.
Well, before you
Mikal
finish
Bridges
the
making
list, though,
25. Yeah.
but let me just ask you this: like, how many players you know that are out there that would give up 130 plus $1 million to
Not
get
Not
some
many.
many.
additional players?
Not
Jordan
not
and
many.
Brady was the only people. Like, remember, Brady wasn't near the highest paid quarterback for years, and he wanted that money to get his wide receiver talent. Old Belichick never did. Jordan, for a long time, he was the fifth or sixth highest paid player on his team for a long time. Wasn't until like the last
Yeah.
5 or 6 years of his career did he
Yep.
start getting paid 35 million, 40 million a year.
Yep. Yeah. And the thing about it is too, even Brunson right now, he's not making the most on his team. Karl Anthony Towns
No,
is. He's making $54 million.
yeah,
So it's like, and he's already said he's not taking another pay cut again. So that's another reason why I don't see the Knicks being able to sustain this in the future, because they're going to have to make some decisions, some financial decisions. Excuse me, and one of those will be Brunson's extension, because
Yeah.
he's going to be king of the world now. So now he's got that chip,
max, super
and
Well,
max.
and
yeah,
to kind of go back to your point there, Mr. Raider, about the rivalry between the Knicks, and I make the argument that the Spurs are not going to be rivals with them, is because of that.
mhm.
I don't know. I disagree, but I'll let you finish your point and then I'll say
Well,
mine.
no, my point is that they're not going to challenge them the same way that OKC is. I think that's where the challenge is going to be. That's where the rivalry is going to be. That is going to be where, because you're talking about youth, contract, and experience, and so on and so forth. I think that the Spurs and OKC are destined for a rivalry.
Okay, fair point. I definitely could concede that, but I would also like to just offer this. If someone kicked your ass so thoroughly and frustratingly, and you know that you were winning the fight and you just happen to lose to a ghost punch,
Yeah,
you would like Daniel Cormier, right? He wants to fight John Jones so bad, but he can't beat him.
right.
And
Well, I
there's
get it.
just certain opponents you have that you just want to beat so bad. And I think the Spurs are always going to remember what the Knicks did to him. So during the regular season, I would say the rivalry would be there. But during the
Well,
playoffs, I would agree with you. OKC for sure.
Okay,
as
so let's put this into perspective. So look at the Broncos and the Seahawks. The Seahawks absolutely kicked the shit out of the Broncos in the Super Bowl. Would we consider that a rivalry?
no,
Absolutely not. That's
no.
my point. They're not even in the same conference. They're not in the same area code.
Well,
So
that's different though, because basketball, you're going to play. Everybody plays everybody. You know
well,
what I mean?
sure.
Like they're gonna.
I suppose, but my point is that, they, I don't see them seeing them as I just don't see that as a rivalry. I think that OKC is going to be a rivalry because they're
Well,
in the same conference and because of the bad blood between those two teams and the proximity between them.
well. Not only that, and we actually have a real life example of this. So last year, the Pistons and the Knicks met in the first round. We lost in Game 6 against them. It was a buzzer beater that Brunson hit on us, right? That following season, it enraged them so much that every time they played the Knicks, they beat them by damn near 28, like
Okay,
every single game. And
so to
and
your
it's,
point there, Hater, I can, if you want a rivalry, I think it's going to be against the Pistons and
oh
the
yes,
Knicks.
oh yeah. If it
I
was
think there's
like
true look. I think there's true hate between those two teams right now.
yes, there is. And to be honest, that's what's most disappointing, I think. In this, just a quick side note too, of I still don't know if the Pistons actually got to the final to play the Spurs. I don't know if we would have beat them either. I don't think we would have. But I know for sure that the path that the Knicks were able to sustain will never. First of all, it'll never happen again. The fact that they faced three consecutive teams in the playoffs that came off a 7-game series that went 7 games, that would never happen again. They were about as full rested team that you could possibly have to make it to the final. So they
Yeah, but
had
they
that in
went
their back pocket.
13-1, right? They went 13-1 or 14-1 or something like that
Yeah,
throughout the
but it was
playoffs.
like but it was like an emotional series. Like the opponent that they went up against came up with an emotional series. Like the 76ers, they beat the Boston Celtics in a shocker, right? And that was a big emotional state for them. Embiid gets hurt for the first 2 games. They were able to sweep them, which was embarrassing. Then they played against Cleveland. They go 7 games against us. Again, they were emotionally tied, and all of a sudden, James Harden turns back into a pumpkin. They get to sweep them. And then in terms of the Spurs have this emotional roller coaster with the defending champion Thunder, gave them all they had. They actually overcome it. Wemby's over here crying at the podium. People were talking about that. Clearly, there was a lot of emotion built up about that, and then they forgot about the fact that they still had a final to play, and the Knicks were able to take advantage of that. So all I'm saying is that those particular scenarios that the Knicks were able to experience, we will probably never see that again. And so the Knicks, I'm not going to say they were lucky, but they were very fortunate.
Right time, right place, man.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree. But so I'm going to offer up a beer bet right now, guys.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go on wax and say that the Spurs are going to win it next year.
It'd be good
I
for
don't
the
know.
city.
I can't take that bet until I find out where Giannis goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to say the
good
same
point.
thing.
Yeah,
Because
good
Yeah.
if
point.
Giannis ends up going to OKC, it's a wrap.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Replace
trade
Chet with
Yeah,
Giannis.
but to be able to get
What?
that, I mean, you're going to have to give up a hell of a lot.
Yeah, Chet.
Well, yeah, Chet,
They
bro.
can. Yeah.
And they have all these
They can
first round draft picks.
Yeah, they can make the salaries match. They have plenty of picks to give up, and they could probably they might throw in Jalen Williams maybe. They could do anything and everything. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. But the other side to it too is
They're one of the highest contenders to get him because of what they can
Spurs
offer.
can make some moves too. Just
they
saying.
could.
I
They
think the
could,
Spurs only
but
move they need to make is get rid of Fox. Other than that,
Yeah.
they should be good for at least 3 years, 4 or 5 years.
I would say if they could find a reasonable replacement for whoever Wemby's backup is, I think
That
that would benefit them a lot.
Yeah.
Like Cornette's okay, but you need somebody like I would say like a Isaiah Stewart type, like a bad guy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
but
Like
I guess it would depend on the team though, bro, because Cornette fits that role perfect. He's scrappy, he rebounds, he blocks, he's not afraid to jump there and try to block somebody's dunk. That's
yeah,
kind of what you need, right? So I get it.
but
I get it.
but also somebody you can.
I only offer up that bet, just, simply because we call ourselves a 2-0 show. Well, let's fucking prove it. I mean, I am a Spurs fan, and I want to see them succeed. I think they have all the talent in the world, and the improvement is immeasurable with these guys. I think that they have the fortitude. I think they have the ability to actually go the distance this next year. I really do. And I think that now that they actually have the experience, even more so.
Well, keep in mind, bro.
Go ahead,
man.
I was gonna say I would take you up on that. The only thing is, I mostly agree because from a salary cap perspective, next year is their best opportunity to load up with whoever or whatever they want in the offseason to really push for a title. Like the all in, push all your chips in type scenarios where you don't really have to mess with your roster very much, like unnecessarily. They can do that next year. So I agree. But it's still hard because again, it
is hard.
hinges on
I
Wemby's
think
health.
it's based on the Spurs nucleus. If they
Yeah.
lose Harper, Castle, or Wemby, then I would renege on that bet.
If I would say this, if you'd have said, I think the Spurs will win a championship in the next 3 years, I would totally agree with you.
Yes.
Yeah. But saying next year against the whole field when I don't know where Giannis is going to go, I gotta wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not only that though, keep in mind that the OKC, 2 of their major role players were hurt.
Hmm.
That's true.
So they didn't play a full decked out OKC team. Although I still think the Spurs would have won because they didn't have an answer for Wemby, but they weren't at their full strength either. But I agree with you, Joey. It'd be good for the city, man. It'd be great for the city if the Spurs won a chip next year, but I don't
Yeah.
see it happening next year, but definitely within the next 3 for sure. Within
I'll say
3.
I'll put this bet though. I don't know if you'll take me up on this, Angry Joey, but I'll say this. I think you will see a much more angry version of Wemby.
And that's saying
I
something.
yeah.
You know, when you actually, when you put it like that, I mean, because he was pissed in these finals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, hell, it started against the Timberwolves when we
Right.
we
And
actually
you did
already
that
talked
elbow,
about it.
yeah.
With the elbow and stuff like that. That was not incidental contact. I mean,
I loved it.
and the
I ain't
way
gonna lie. I loved it.
I mean,
I really did.
Because
Because
these guys are on it.
the NBA got to be too soft, bro.
Oh,
The last 3, 4
definitely.
years, come on.
Most definitely. And the way that Wemby actually played the game, are we sure that he's French? I'm just wondering. I mean, how the
Oh, he's
fuck is
French.
he not
He's
American?
He's an
Oh yeah,
alien.
he's yeah. He's definitely French.
I'm just saying, the way he delivered that elbow was like, wow. I mean, my God.
I got you.
My point is
I got
that, I mean, but what he did was ridiculous. I mean, he was getting nasty. And then when he actually pushed Brunson's head down and stuff like that,
That was
I mean,
funny.
okay, to be fair, was it a dirty play? By
No,
comparison,
it's basketball.
compared to him actually getting slapped across the wrist and having scars over his arms.
Oh, the fact that they were arm barring him like each and every chance they got. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he was definitely
So I
frustrated.
mean, what's a man going to do? I mean,
Yeah.
he actually,
He took matters
you
into
guys
his
get
own
done,
hands.
responded in kind.
when you guys get done with the Wemby glaze, the non-Spurs fan will give you guys the glass half or glass half empty.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Coming
All
from
right.
a fucking Laker
All
fan.
right,
Here we
all
You're
go.
up, buddy.
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's see what you
Yeah,
got.
come on, what you got?
Hear you.
All right. So you're right. Wemby is a freak of nature. He's great. I do think the Spurs, like I said before, I think, next 3 years, they're probably going to win a championship. They're that talented. But it's not like that man was perfect. He made a ton of mistakes during this series. Most
Agreed.
of them due to youth, but some of them not so much.
Yes.
First of all, like taunting someone and then, losing a 29-point lead, not great. Maybe
Yeah.
you should win some before you start taunting people about how you're in their head. You're in their head.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
stuff like
Agreed.
that was immature.
Yep.
On top of that, at the beginning of the year, instead of hitting the gym, eating some of that good San Antonio food, he went to some Buddhist temple. That sounds like some Aaron Rodgers shit. Not, like that.
What?
If you'd have told me,
He did meet with Olajuwon though, bro. Just side note.
I get
Side
it,
note.
but what I'm saying is he needs to buckle down, gain some weight, and then on top of that, he needs to get some post moves. He needs to get some moves where
Yes.
he can stay
Yeah.
down in the post, get some easy buckets because he's expending too much energy on the defensive end and the offensive end. So this entire series, by the fourth quarter, he was a wet noodle. He was completely gassed in the fourth quarter of every single one of those games, and that's one of the reasons they lost. So there's
All
some
right.
work he needs to do for sure.
Indeed.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah,
Fair
was a
point.
good point.
I mean,
not hate feel by you, Woo Pig. That's a fair
no, he's
assessment.
super talented, and I think he's going to win a championship. But he definitely has. He's still raw. He needs some time in the oven.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Indeed.
the Spurs fans hearing you say this is gonna like it, but like it is about as much as a wet shit in a Waffle House.
Hey, man, I'm just giving you the truth, man. I'm not telling you he's bad or he sucks or anything like that. I give him his props, but there's a reason
out to
young
Waffle House.
players don't usually win chips.
True.
Yeah. Well, we're approaching about 45 minutes here, so we probably need
shit.
to move on.
Okay, yeah. So let's move to the next topic then, man. But I really want to hear your bit on this lawsuit.
Yes. All right. So, in the last episode that we had, we talked about an infringed quarterback, and I say that in quotes, Brendan Sorsby, who was supposed to transfer to Texas Tech, and he was found to have placed 9,000 bets from the time that he was recruited to this point now, totaling over $90,000. The NCAA initially came down after they found out about these allegations, and they essentially banned him, to which Texas Tech found a lawyer locally and was able to file an injunction allowing him to play because they said, quote, well, not quote, but I'm paraphrasing a little bit. They said it would be irreparable harm would be done upon him if he was not allowed to play college football in preparation for the 27 NFL season. So after that happened, the Big 12, the college football playoff president, and basically every other school that was slotted to play Texas Tech all rose up and said that we will do something if you allow this kid to actually play. So after that happened, Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech agreed to part ways. Brendan Sorsby is now going to forego going to Texas Tech at all, and he is going to submit his application for the NFL supplemental draft.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, that is what happened. I think that happened yesterday.
What? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna comments to when you're done.
Okay. Yeah. So the last piece of it, and I was gonna say this as a kiss my grits, honestly, and I might come back to it. But the part that pissed me off most about all of this is that Texas Tech has already said that they will not recoup any money that they've already given him as part of the NIL deal that he initially signed. So,
sounds like a settlement to me, though.
Yeah. So to wrap it up, Sorsby is a gambling addict. He bet on his own team. He bet on other sports, and he bet since he was basically 18 years old, which is, as far as I know, still is a state crime. He carried it over from Indiana to Cincinnati, was about to get big money with Texas Tech, got some big money from Texas Tech. They was willing to go up to the Attorney General of Texas if they had to get him to actually play. But ultimately, they didn't want to fight that battle because they didn't want to fight City Hall, the CFP, or the Big 12. So now he gets to escape, essentially, go to the NFL supplemental draft, and he still gets a bunch of money from Texas Tech. So that's what wraps it up. So what say y'all?
The NFL better not draft his ass after what they did to Shedeur Sanders. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay.
See, I'm going to say good on the Big 12 and the NCAA for putting enough pressure on them that I think eventually Texas Tech had to go to him and say, hey, man, this isn't going to work. You know, you're not going to be able to play for us. And that's why I think he eventually joined the supplemental draft. I think the writing was on the wall because the Big 12 they were lawyering up and getting ready to put sanctions on them.
Yeah.
So which is good on them. That shows integrity, you know. I'm glad.
Yeah, that's a good point too. You're right. I missed that. I was thinking of the NFL piece because why on earth it would not be a good look for the NFL to draft somebody who has a gambling problem. 9,000 bets. How old is he? 24? 25?
Yeah.
He is 20. Yeah, I think he's 25 right now. Yes.
Like, come on, man. That's almost 1,000 bets a year. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, I'm sorry.
Your own team too?
I'm sorry. He's 22. He's
22
right
in 4 years. He did 9,000 plus bets. It's crazy, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
9,000 bets totaling $90,000. Yeah.
And you think he's just going to quit cold turkey when he joins the NFL supplemental draft? Come on, man. Come on.
Hey, man,
I hope he does.
He went to rehab for 30 days, sir. He's a reformed citizen.
I hope so, man. I really do.
And he could become the spokesperson for DraftKings and shit like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or he can use his voice for, when they talk about if you have a gambling problem.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that was good. That was good stuff, man. So listen, we are coming up on an hour almost, but do you want to talk about anything else or do you want to transition to Kiss My Grits in that little minute?
Well, I don't think Angry Joy, I didn't hear your opinion about all this. I know you were new to all of this.
About what?
About the whole story, because I know you weren't here last week and we really went in depth in this, but I will say that I did bring up the point that if the CFP was willing to provide a memorandum of understanding to Notre Dame, giving them basically a guaranteed shot at the CFP, why in the hell could they not do a memorandum of understanding for Texas Tech if Brandon Sorsby actually played? So I did do that. I did throw that in there just to poke at you a little bit, but
Of
go ahead.
course you did. But no, I don't feel like talking about that tonight.
Oh, okay.
But what I would like to hear about a little bit more is the UFC fight at the White House.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Red, I know you're the big UFC guy here out of all of us. Did you watch the whole thing?
I did. I did watch the whole thing. I have my take on it, but I'll let you guys go first.
Okay. Let me say this first. Number one, a UFC event on a Sunday night, bad idea.
Yeah.
That thing ran a little bit too long. Like I think it ended like midnight
Yep.
here, and I was like, man, this is a work night. And if it wasn't for that championship fight, if it wasn't for that, I would have wrapped it up. I was like, nah, I gotta go to bed. You know what I mean? But man, that championship fight was epic, man.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Multiple upsets with the championship fight. The first championship fight, that was an upset. Before that, you had Alex Pereira. He lost to
Gane.
Yeah.
Cyril
Gane. Yeah. Lost to him in a second round knockout, I think. Or
Yeah.
TKO, I want to say. Which is very surprising. And what was the other? It was another upset, and I can't remember off the top of my head. But I will say, for the first time in my life of watching of UFC fights, and I'll say I go back maybe about 10, 12 years, I think, I have never seen the corner of a fighter throw in the towel, essentially. But they really had no choice because that championship fight, Ilia can't pronounce his last name. Topuria, yeah. Ilia Topuria, he took so much damage.
Dude, he was fixing to die. I mean, I'm just saying, he was unrecognizable.
Yeah.
They saved his career by stopping the fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what did he have? Two
broken
fractures?
orbital bones. Each orbital bone in his face was broken.
Okay,
Justin Gaethje basically broke his whole face.
Yeah, you had a smashed skull, and God only knows how many broken ribs from that knee to the ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They saved that man's career by stopping the fight. I don't have any issues with
he
that fight
saved that man's life. You
True.
know, I mean,
true.
Well,
that was barbaric. I mean, but you know, if you're the aggressor, what are you going to do? I mean, you're paid to fight until the fight is over, right?
Well, that's the thing, Angry Joey. That this is okay. So part of the drama about that piece of the fight was going towards at the end of the third round, going to the fourth. His right eye was already swollen shut, and they were the medical guys and went to the corner and was saying like, hey, can he continue? Can he not? And stuff like that. And they were going back and forth, and they even went past the 1 minute mark that they were supposed to for each fighter to actually recover. So he got an extra minute, right? And then they decided to say, okay, yes, he will fight in the fourth. Go to the fourth round. We're fine with that. So it goes out there. So then now his left eye is getting jacked up and it's starting to swell. And
okay, so that begs the other question.
Yes.
Should the refs have called it right then and there?
They were going back and forth, man. That's why it took so long between the third and fourth round, was because the ref, I think the ref really wanted to stop it. But
the doctor wanted to. Remember, the doctor stopped it the first time because he knew his orbital bones are broken based off the swelling and what he saw. And then the ref was like, are you sure? Are you sure? Sure. And so then he changed his mind.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, man. Yeah.
I think
that just seems like torture. I'm just sorry. You know, that's not a fight anymore.
Well,
now you're just beating a man to death.
Well, a lot of it was pride too, because his brother, Topuria's brother, was one of his cornermen as well.
And I get pride, but at what point does pride cost you your life?
Well, I think we're going to find out. But to end the fifth, or going into the fifth round, like I said, like Gaethje, he got him clean in the ribs with a knee shot. He immediately broke down. It was the last 10 seconds, and they go back into their corners. He goes back, and his brother immediately talks to him, and he says, "We're going out there for the fifth round." That's what his brother said. But the third person in his corner was talking to the med team again, and all of a sudden they gave the signal to the ref and said he can't continue. We can't do this. And so they called the fight. Justin Gaethje was announced champion, and yeah, it was one of the bigger upsets of the night.
So my take on this fight, though, is, congratulations to Gaethje. I mean, 38 years old, the man, put on an epic fight with Max Holloway, got knocked out cold, to come back and win the UFC championship. That just go to show you, man, like, fans care about great fights. I don't care so much about your win-loss record, right?
Yes.
As long as you go out there and you put on a show, you're good to go. And that's what I love about the UFC. But in any event, let me do some shout-outs, some props to Ilia Topuria. People are forgetting that first 2 rounds, Ilia Topuria hurt Gaethje really bad, especially with them body shots.
Yes, he did.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was going in for the kill.
Yeah.
And, so it didn't look like Gaethje was going to win there for a little while. So I think what turned the fight was when he got that clean punch to his eye socket and broke it. Obviously,
Yes.
like, after that point, it's like, come on, it's going to take some of the steam out of yourselves.
Yeah.
So, but Ilia was piecing him up solidly. So
yes.
It's not like he went in there and just laid down. But from rounds 3, 4, 3, and 4, man, wow, it was an ass whooping. It was just straight up, just because he couldn't see.
Right. Yeah.
But I thought it was the fight of the night. I thought it was a good fight, regardless,
Absolutely.
until it was stopped. And I'm glad the corner stopped it because they saved that man's career and, as Angry Joey said, his life as well, because that would have been some permanent damage. And now you're not going to see him at all for the rest of 2026 for good reason. I would even venture to say even 2027, because 2 orbital bones, you get punched in the face for a living. You know what I mean?
I'm still trying to think of a fight that resulted in that much damage. I can't think of it.
I could think of 3 or 4 off the top of my head, man. That were really good.
Okay. Yeah. But so can I ask a question? Like, for a guy to go through something like that. Now, the other thing to remember too, he was 17-0. So to have your first loss in that type of fashion on that big of a stage, is it possible for him to A, recover, and B, to come back and be just as dominant of a champion before that happened?
I say yes if he takes his time coming back. He needs to take off at least 1.5 years. That's what he needs to do to make sure that those bones, those orbital bone fractures are actually healed well, stuff like that. Because his talent is there, man. This dude is ridiculously talented.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
That's not going to go
agree with
anywhere.
that.
As long as he keeps training,
To be honest with
you know
you,
what I mean?
I would say 2 years. I mean, the damage that man took was off the charts. I mean, he didn't even look like the same person. I mean, he looked like Clayface. He was busted up. I mean, it just, it broke my heart seeing how bad this man was hurt.
Yeah. If you look at the history of fights like this, and for the fighters that are on the receiving end of this kind of damage, their careers aren't as long. Now, there are a couple of exceptions, obviously, but it really does take a toll on their career on fights like this.
Most definitely. I mean, that was a devastating loss. I mean, I pray a speedy recovery. I mean, hands off to the winner, but at the same time, I mean, my prayers are with him and his family, for a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
I second that. Yeah, like, and it takes a lot for me to say this, but before the fight started, he was a pretty good looking dude. After the fight was over, whew.
Well,
Quasimodo had nothing on him.
Yeah, I never seen somebody get beat ugly, but
he got a few new scars, that's for sure.
Yeah,
right.
And let's hope that that's all that he walks away with is a few scars, and not some other.
Well, keep in mind, Gaethje did the same thing to Patty pretty much, but his face was all busted up, but not nearly as bad as Ilia Topuria, but his face was pretty smashed too, and it took him a while to recover. So, but on another fight, I'm going to talk about Chandler. Man, my heart went out to this dude, man. He got his ass thoroughly demolished.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, When
Yeah.
he hit the ground like on his knees and got those 2 extra binks in,
Yeah.
if he did on him, I was like, "Oh my god, this dude, like, he's been in some wars."
Yeah.
And that's a fighter where you can see where damage will add up, and you see what
Yes.
happens to him,
Yeah.
you know? And I like the guy. I think he's has a really good history to fighter. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
But man, he
You
got
think
his
that should
ass
be it
whooped.
for him?
Yeah, I do. I think he should retire. I really do.
Yeah. That
He's a
but
good
again,
dude,
that's gonna
man.
be another
He's
yeah.
a good dude. He has 2 adopted children, but, he's a really solid dude, man. Awesome guy. So, I
Yeah.
just hate to see stuff like that happen to fighters in general, but just people in general, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing too, was there was a lot look, that was a very high stage, high pressure moment, and everyone was talking about the fact that, like, they're fighting outside, so that, like, that changes the dynamic a lot from what the fighters are used to. It was hot, it was muggy, the lights are extra bright because 'cause you're outside, so there's bugs all over the place. So, that changed the dynamic a lot for a lot of these fighters, so but I know
Yeah.
they wanted to put on a good show. They definitely did because the folks were entertained,
Right.
but man.
So, can I be an for real quick? Just Paramount Plus.
Uh-oh.
God dang it. Would you stop advertising in the middle of a fucking championship fight so I
Oh,
can hear what the corner is
yes.
saying to their fighter? Ugh,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was terrible. Yeah,
dang.
and I thought because I remember we talked about it before, like they resorted back to their old ways because you said that, like, they
Yeah.
they were improving and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden they went back stupid again. It's like
Yeah, man. And not they did it for each championship bout too. Each
yes.
one.
Yep, they sure
I,
did.
I was just like even if they only did it for like I think it was like 2 rounds or so, I want to know what the fighters are what are they being coached? Like that's part of it, man.
Yes. Yeah.
Like when you watch boxing, you listen to the corner and what this corner is telling his boxer,
Yeah.
that I
Yep.
like stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's just fucking annoying, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking annoying. That just gives me a precursor to what Red Zone's gonna look like this year. I think I'm gonna cancel it, to be
Oh,
honest with you.
oh, don't no, don't oh god. No, dude.
Too soon?
Too soon.
Yeah.
I don't like, I have mustard seed faith, and I so, like,
Well,
I
hopefully
don't
you
want
can
Red
move a
Zone to
mountain, my boy, because that's what it's gonna take.
Yeah, the DirecTV mountain, yes. But before we move off of this, I gotta say this too, man. Herb Dean, it's time for you to go, bro.
Yeah, bruh. Bye.
He be allowing too much, bro.
Bruh.
It's like, come on, man. You
Can you
see
name
the man on the ground. He's
Yeah,
getting punched in the face. Stop the fight, man.
and elbowed in the
Stop the
back
fight.
of the head.
Yeah. Like, come on,
Yeah.
dude.
Can
Like,
you
it's
name
just
one other UFC ref that has had more controversy than Herb Dean?
no,
I can't either. Not even
no,
Big John McCarthy
no.
had
Yeah.
a lot of these issues.
Or at least for Big John, it's like at least he leans on the side of caution. Like he
Yes.
might call a fight too soon. This dude right here, he's like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
know. He has a chance. Bruh, he's getting hammer fisted. Come on, man, do your job.
Yeah.
Like,
I would encourage our audience to go and just look at some YouTube videos of Herb Dean and his horrible calls. Like he got into it. I forget his name. He was a UFC. Was it Hardy? I think it was Hardy. He was commenting, and then he was telling Herb, "Hey, you need to stop this fight because the dude was starched and he was still getting punched, and it took
yeah,
Herb a little bit longer to get there to stop it. But he has a history of that kind of stuff,
yeah,
so he's gonna
yeah,
get somebody killed, man. I'm with
yeah,
you.
right,
You got to pull
yeah,
his ass.
yeah, yeah. Dana White, come on, man. Like, it's come on. You
I
got
don't even think
to show
Dana
this
White
man his
likes him
papers.
either. I know Dana White doesn't really talk about the rest. Well, he did a few, but I don't think he really likes Herb Dean very much either.
I
None
mean,
of
he
the
the
fighters
president,
do.
man. He can yeah, man. Just
Yeah.
just send back to like the power slap or something like that. You know what I mean? Just do that. If you
Yeah,
want to keep him on the payroll, he just ain't got to be here, man. But
that's right.
yeah,
All right, brother. Well, we just hit 60 minutes.
yes,
So,
sir.
do y'all have anything else you want to circle back and talk to Will Pig and Joey later?
I'm good.
Will
Yeah, I'm
Pig,
good.
you good?
I guess I'll lay off the Spurs fans this week.
I'm sure they appreciate you for that.
Yeah. I will say, we are 6 days away from the NBA draft as well, so there's gonna be a lot of movement, a lot of trades, and some this this is a highly touted class, so we'll definitely have a lot to talk
Giannis.
about. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
Oh,
Well,
and not only that, but we're also going to we're getting close to NFL, boys.
yes.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Got some fantasy talk that we have to spit out there and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, I got some stuff brewing for y'all, man. Y'all gonna love it.
Looking forward to it. All right. Well, let's transition to Alamo Minute and Kiss My Grits. For our regular listeners, I'm sure they already know what it is, but for the new listeners, a Kiss My Grits is something that is completely asinine that you want to draw attention to. Maybe it's a negative experience at a business or just a negative ass person. That's your time to bring them down there and put the spotlight on them. Alamo Minute is just the opposite. If you want to give somebody a shout out, a highlight, something positive happened to you, or it could be a business person, whatever, doesn't matter. That's your time to put a spotlight on that too. So, without further ado, Hater with Facts, do you have a Alamo Minute or a Kiss My Grits or both?
I have a Alamo minute this week. Shout out to the United States men's national team on their first win of the World Cup that transpired this past weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
They were very dominant in their showing against Paraguay, 4-1.
4-1.
Yes, they are taking on Australia on Friday. So
Okay.
to me, I think they're the toughest team in their group. So I'm very much looking forward to see how they perform. I know there's a lot of concern for Pulisic if he's going to play or not, but let's hopefully he'll be able to get the rest that he needs and he'll be able to play and be effective. But there's some high hopes right now in the States for the men's national team, which I haven't seen. I would say in my entire life, especially as the way a lot of the football or soccer experts are saying of how they performed and the way the manager has been doing. So great job so far. We know the job's not done yet, as Kobe would say. God rest his soul. But we want them to keep going. Let's get to group play. Let's get to the knockout stages and let's really make some noise here.
Sounds good. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good one, buddy.
Yeah. Angry Joey, you have anything?
I have nothing, I mean, only the second haters take, I mean, I just wish the US men's team all the luck in the world.
Sounds good. Woo Pig.
Just to go off of what Hater said, it's been real fun seeing like Europeans coming to the States for the World Cup and seeing them experience, American things, American food, stuff like that. I mean, you can look it up on YouTube right now. It's hilarious
America.
seeing. Yeah. Like Europeans going to a Buc-ee's for the first time. Pretty funny stuff. So,
Do you hear about that bar that ran out of a lager because the Scottish, either the Scottish or Irish are drinking 4 times as many as their normal patron? Did you see
yeah,
that?
like I think it's the Scots and they're in Boston. It's like, damn, what a
that's it.
combo.
Well, that's funny.
In Boston.
Yeah,
Oh my
man.
God.
Boston.
And the
Yeah,
Scots
shout
were-
out to those fans.
oh, that's okay. Hats off. I mean, my God.
But from everything
Yeah.
I'm seeing, man, the Scots are having a blast in Boston, and the Boston people are showing them a hell of a time, So
Oh, good.
That's
I
good to hear.
wondered how they'd fare in Texas. I'm just curious.
I think they
Uh,
fit
they-
right in, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think some of the games are in Houston and then Dallas. I think maybe.
Oh my.
I don't think I can
So-
afford a ticket, so I'll just watch on
But
TV.
the Scottish team were playing in Boston, so that's why all the Scots were there. That's it was funny.
Great
Yeah,
choice.
cool. Look, I'm biased, man. I think Texas is the greatest state in the union because 1, barbecue, 2, guns, and 3, Jesus. That's why.
I got to tell you guys, I mean, in all transparency, I cannot stand soccer. I really don't. I mean, and I know I'm going to get roasted for, from these Europeans saying it's football. No, it's not football. There's only one football. My point is that I just don't understand the game, man. And the only time that I ever really get into it is the World Cup. Because I mean, that's when you actually get to stand for your country. That's when you get to root for, your own peeps and stuff like that. But it's also one of those things that actually brings people together more.
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
good event. It's a good event. You're here.
So, you know,
Good
I
take.
mean,
And that's why it's so refreshing, because most of the YouTube videos you see of like Europeans coming in and, you know, seeing, because the World Cup's happening all over the country, right? So they're going to
sure.
stadiums in Texas and Florida and Boston, so like all over. So a lot of these fans are seeing parts of, you know, America that they've never, you know, heard of or seen before, and the reactions are hilarious. That
Well,
they're
very
like
good point.
they're, you
Very
know,
good point. You
very
know, because there's
positive and stuff like that is great.
the I like seeing this energy that's actually coming into the country, and it's a good thing.
Excellent. Well said. Well said. Okay, so I don't have anything either, but I would like for our audience to know how to get a hold of us and interact with us because we need that. Hater Fast can put you on game with that.
Absolutely. So if you wanna get a hold of us, you want to listen to us on radio style, I guess. You can catch us on Apple, Spotify, and Overcast at the 210 Show. You can also catch us on YouTube at the 210 Show Pod. And again, shout out to the 25 subscribers that we currently have on YouTube. We appreciate you, and please engage with us. We'd love to have you. But while you're there, tip the bartender on the way out by hitting that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. So when this pod drops, you get that notification. So also we have a Discord as well. So if you want to join us there, please feel free. So we're heading into the dog days of summer, but don't you worry. The 210 Show is here to fill that time for you and give you that entertainment that you need. So yeah, so keep supporting us. Thanks.
Yep, appreciate that. All right, gentlemen, great pod. Audience, thank you for listening. We love y'all. Take care of each other. God bless.
Peace.